Good evening from Washington. I'm Larry O'Connor, and today was the big March for Life in Washington, D.C., and it was a joyous occasion. It was the first March for Life since the Dobbs decision. It was 50 years ago this week that Roe v. Wade plagued our country with abortion on demand, and now here we are 50 years later. A march turns into a celebration. Later on in the program, we're going to have some footage direct from our producer, Doug Blair, who was there with his camera, and you'll see all the scenes. But one thing everyone will tell you is part of the life movement, and that is that just because Roe v. Wade is gone, the fight continues. In fact, the fight continues at an intense level. Our friends over at Media Research Center has just done a study on the insidious nature of big tech in this conversation. And take a look at this. If one is to Google about pregnancy information, the top responses you'll get is from Planned Parenthood. How to terminate your pregnancy. That's Google's contribution to the discussion about abortion and about life. Joining us right now from Media Research Center is the Vice President for Free Speech, Dan Schneider. Dan, this looked like a Babylon Bee headline for a moment. You're pregnant. You want information about your pregnancy, about your baby, prenatal care maybe. You go to Google and you get information from Planned Parenthood as the top result?
It's ghoulish. It's horrible. It's evil. But Larry, if you go to Bing or DuckDuckGo, one of these other search engines, you don't pull up Planned Parenthood. You pull up the Mayo Clinic. You pull up the NIH. You pull up the first thing that comes up is a definition for what it means to be pregnant. And in fact, Larry, just a quick aside, the definition: pregnancy is the time during which one or more offspring develops inside a woman's uterus.
So they got to change that quickly.
Well, Bing and DuckDuckGo, at least for now, are still claiming that pregnancy is only possible for women. But it's the definition for those search engines that come up first, and then these other reliable sorts of health organizations. But for Google, and we did this study because we think of Google as the font of all evil. We expected this bias to occur, and in fact, using a clean computer, making sure that we didn't have any cookies or prior search history, and we did it in a way that was where Google wouldn't know where we are. The first thing that pops up is Planned Parenthood, basically how to get an abortion.
I suspect their response would be the same as always, which is, well, that's just the algorithm. It's just the most popular thing. That doesn't wash anymore, because we know that they tinker with those algorithms. We know that they weight it in one direction and another.
Little green men from Mars are not the ones creating these algorithms. They are human beings employed by Google. It's Google who writes these algorithms. It was always mysterious to me how they could get away with saying, well, it's just the algorithm. Like, no, that's you. That's Google determining what the search results are going to be.
Dan, take a look at this. A conservative columnist, Bethany Mandel, friend of this program, she saw your report.
Yeah.
She said, when I was pregnant with my first, I Googled 20 weeks pregnant, and the results were clinics where I could go abort my baby. I would imagine that if you were PETA instead of Media Research Center, and you put out a report that showed, look, if you Google, wanting information about your new puppy, and the top responses are about how to kill your puppy, there would be an uproar. There would be outrage over that, Dan.
Yeah, well, you've just focused on the most important idea here. Google and all of their green people and all of their socialists, they think the existence of human people on this planet is evil. Puppies are okay. People are not. There are too many people eating beef burgers and
driving cars and flying airplanes, unless they're going to Davos, of course. That those people are okay. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Dan, listen, you guys at Media Research Center have done such a great job of not just looking at the broadcast news in New York Times and CNN. I mean, that's old hat now. The focus on big tech is so important, especially in light of the Twitter files stories that have come out this year. Yeah. Now that there's a Republican majority in the House, what should they do about this?
All right. So you've just asked what can they do and what should they do. What they've already said that they're going to do in three different committees, the Oversight Committee, the Judiciary Committee, and the Energy and Commerce Committee, is conduct hearings. And those hearings are really good and valuable. And two of these committee chairmen have introduced legislation that would make it unlawful for a federal employee to collude with big tech. Okay, well, both of those things are really nice. Hearings and making it unlawful for federal employees to collude. But if that's all they do, that will be terrible. that does nothing to actually stop censorship. So, we're encouraging House leadership, committee chairmen, and others that this is the time when we have to actually make real changes. There's this law, and I know that if I say this number, people's eyes will glaze over. It's called Section 230.
Yeah.
But what is that? Well, 30 years ago, Congress passed this law that gave a carve out, a special exemption to big tech from being sued by all the trial lawyers. The idea was that the big tech is in its infancy, and we can't let the trial lawyers bar ruin this new technology. Well,
and it had to do with sort of not putting the tech companies on the hook for a free flow of information and conversations were going on in case somebody says something that's actionable. But literally, they were talking about chat rooms and message boards on AOL and Earthlink. I mean, we've come a long way from there, Dan.
Right, and then wanting to make sure that these chat link and all these things could remove criminal content, like trying to traffic children into sex slavery, and please, we want to make sure that you can do that without being sued. Okay, well, Google and Facebook, they are not in their infancy. We don't give a special exemption to General Motors. We don't give a special exemption to any of these big corporations around the world, Caterpillar, whatever. Why do we give a special exemption from lawsuits to the biggest, most radicalized corporations on the planet? Corporations that want to destroy individual liberty, want to destroy national sovereignty, want to destroy everything that has made this country great for so many years. It's time that we take away this special exemption for these big tech companies. And if we can, we can have Congress play on the edges here and say, okay, FBI, stop colluding with Twitter to shut down conservatives. And while that is a good thing to do, we must not stop there, Larry. We've got to actually stop this abuse.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you mentioned the FBI, and I just saw Christopher Wray in Davos, sort of bragging about the fact that he's been able to work with big tech to make sure that this technology doesn't fall into the wrong hands. But I think sometimes when he says the wrong hands, he means people like you and me who, don't vote the way he wants us to.
Well, this is the same conference where they are praising the Chinese Communist Party. They are praising censorship of free speech. And the two things are, of course, tightly related. What's the first thing a tyrant wants to do? Wants to silence dissent. That's the first thing a tyrant does. That's what the Chinese Communist Party does, silence dissent. And over in Davos, where we've got all these left-wing billionaires, of course that's what they want to do. They want to stop Larry O'Connor from speaking. By the way, Larry, don't take offense at this. But Google, as far as they're concerned, they want you to live a happy, healthy life. They don't care about you. What Google cares about is everybody who hears from you.
Freedom of speech isn't just about the person being able to speak. It has to do with the people who want to listen. And thankfully, we still have plenty who want to listen. And there's more to come on O'Connor Tonight.